Let's look at access attributes. We can have private, protected, and public. So let's go ahead and, since we just mentioned about putting things in a package, let's go ahead and take our employee and actually create a package. We'll call the package company. So we've got a package called company. And in that package, we will give the, starting at line number 5, we're going to have an int n1, which actually does what's called the default protection attribute, which is actually package level access. And notice I say avoid that because a lot of developers are not clear what is the default. So since they're not clear, don't allow that unless you absolutely need it. Number 7 is the one line number 7 is probably the one you want to begin with. That is private int n2. By making it private, this data is only available inside, in this case, class employee. And the recommendation is to make that data only available in the employee unless you need to make it some other way. So always begin with private, since that's your most secure, your most protected data, and only change it if needed. There's also at line number 8, protected. Protected says you want to make this available anywhere in the package. So it's protected from the outside world, that is outside the package, but at least inside the package you can get access to, in this case, N3. And at line number 9, public, this is the one you probably want to avoid the most because public means anyone can access it at any time. And generally it's considered bad practice to have public variables that can be changed without going through some type of method. But these are the 3 you want to know: private, protected, and public. Now, for the manager, we're going to do the same thing. And notice, since the manager inherits from employee, notice it gets, at line number 7, it can still access N1. Of course, N1 is coming from the employee that was using the default attribute access. It cannot access, at line number 8, if you try to access N2, N2 was private. N2 was private to the employee, so the manager cannot access that. On the other hand, line number 9, N3 was protected. Protected can be accessed anywhere in the package, and since they're in the same package company, it can access that. And line number 11, of course, line number 10, with it being public, it can access that. And finally, line number 11, notice that the manager has a private value at line 4 that has N10, and of course it can access that. So to test this out, we at line 32, we create a new instance of our employee. Notice I'm using the full package name just to make it clear we're coming from company.employee. Create a new instance of that, and then when I have that employee, I then do the same thing, a new manager. But notice, starting at line 38, when I try to access it, when I come down, the only thing I'm allowed to access here within the main is at line 42, the employee1.n4. That's the only thing I can access because inside employee, there was only N4 was public. When I tried to access the others, I get errors because I cannot access private and I cannot access protected. Private, of course, is private to the class. Protected is private within the package. And here I'm in main.java. Main.java is not part of that company package, so it cannot access the protected value. And in fact, the only thing it can access, as we see at line 42, is the global. Or pardon me, I say global, I meant public.